You know what it reminds me of, and honestly, it probably for Hunter Biden, it could have been an honest mistake. Like, I imagine the whole cocaine, the porno thing. He just got fresh out of school.
Mm-hmm.
He was walking down to the docks. He was headed for a boat, and I think he just got on the wrong boat and ended up in where was he? Mexico, doing all the
Mexico.
blow. I think we got ourselves a real cabin boy situation
I think it is a
with the Biden
very
family.
You know,
they confused him
Hunter
for somebody
Biden.
else.
Hunter Biden is such a disappointment to his father. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, the Trump parallels are there too, because in Cabin Boy, Chris Elliott's father owns a Hawaiian hotel, and Trump owns hotels.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So this
You know
is
what I
what's Trump's youngest? Barron. This is Barron grown up. Chris Elliott's character is Barron.
Could
Barron?
be.
And
Is his name
Chris
Barron?
Elliott used to be on David Letterman all the time. Trump used to be on David Letterman all the time.
Ooh, I got questions about Letterman.
David Letterman is
So let's do the intro.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So we're doing Cabin Boy, 1994, directed by Adam Resnick, written by Adam Resnick, and Adam Resnick and Chris Elliott go way back to Dave Letterman show. They worked on the show Get a Life, and then they got this movie Cabin Boy because Tim Burton wanted a project for Chris Elliott. He basically went up to Chris Elliott, was like, I want to make a movie with you. I want to do something with comedy. I'm tired of Batman Returns was like too heavy. I want to do something funny, kind of like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. So they wrote this movie expecting Tim Burton to direct it. And then Tim Burton was like, hey, I got the green light for Ed Wood. I'm going to do that. That's like a really big passion project. And that's like
This
a black and white movie.
So different.
Oh, yeah. So that, like, he had to do Ed Wood. So, but he said, like, I think you should direct it, Adam. I think you should do it. This should be your first movie. And Adam Resnick was like, I don't want to direct a movie. I'm a writer. But then he said people around him were like, no, you got to do it. Come on. Do it. Like, you're being given the keys, to the sweetest ride in America, the Hollywood machine. So
just like
anyway, they worked on
Buick.
Cabin Boy. It was a huge box office failure, and it became a punchline about like a bad movie. But when I saw it on cable, I liked it. Like, I always liked this movie, maybe because I saw it as a kid, and I used to kind of watch it out of order. I probably saw the middle to the ending first, and then saw it from the beginning eventually on TV. But
I mean, what's the premise? Is just Chris Elliott's Odyssey is basically what it is.
Yeah.
The story, the Odyssey with Homer.
No.
He runs into a siren. He's just on his journey home, and
it's a weird mix up of like a fishing movie. Like there's this old movie called Captain's Courageous that I watched that they were a big fan of. It's about a little kid who's snotty and he's a jerk and he's spoiled and he's rich and he dresses exactly like Chris Elliott. It's from the 30s. And then he falls off a boat and then he's picked up by a fishing boat full of like salty like sailors. And then that's like that's like half the plot of Cabin Boy, but the other half is just like Tim Burton, Ray Harryhausen, special effects, 60s.
Yeah.
Like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Was that claymation or stop motion? Stop motion.
There's like stop motion, there's puppets, there's all sorts of shit. But we also got to talk about a couple other things. One is Adam is in Hawaii. He's not here today.
Yep.
He's being Cabin Boy.
Yeah, that sounds like he's having his whole Cabin Boy. Maybe his pipes will get cleaned.
Finally.
His pipes are backed up, that's for sure. Adam needs a little vacay. He needs to get his groove back. He needs his pipes to be clean. If you're a Hawaiian out there.
He's out there with his wife and his son.
Sharky.
And yes.
Chalky. But then also we got
Chalky, that's right.
Chalky. I heard Sharky the whole movie though, and then I saw the actual name. Sorry, go on, William.
We got to introduce special guest Mike Wiebe.
Mike Wiebe.
Just so you know what's going on. All right, so yeah. There's lots of cool characters in this movie.
The listeners aren't just like, holy shit, did Adam just like raise his IQ over an episode? Holy shit, what the fuck?
There'd be like, did Adam's voice just get incredibly nasal?
Holy shit, is Adam stuffed up?
Yeah.
Did Adam start smoking cigarettes? You kind of have like a. Did you used to smoke, Mike? You kind of have like a smoker's Sam Elliott.
I did, and I keep going back and forth with vaping nicotine. I quit for a while.
Well, you're a musician too. I bet you put your throat on blast your whole life.
I drink Baja Blast, which is a big, I mean, that shit is that. I mean, that rips up your throat.
Oh, trust me, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is not a Baja Blast.
I'm trying to remember. I saw this in the theater, I think, when it came out.
Nice.
And I feel like didn't compete? Was it a summer movie? Like, I feel like it competed with some like.
It was a January movie.
Oh, was it? Yeah. I'm trying to remember.
That's like when a bad movie's supposed to come out in January, because
I remember it had bad press around it, but I was like, I'm gonna like it anyway, and I did. I did like it anyway. That being said, like, it was one of those things. I kind of thought it was going to be great, and I remember like there's some lags in there. There's some like jokes that don't. It definitely feels like, man, how good of this would have been if it was R-rated.
Oh yeah.
It gave me very big Pee-wee vibes. So you tell me that Tim Burton story makes a lot of sense. It seemed like a watered down Pee-wee type situation.
So the other thing is like the directing is all off because they slashed the budget when Tim Burton left. So like one thing that would make this movie make more sense, I was thinking about this, is like, in Beetlejuice, it starts off in the real world. They're alive. You see the town, they die. Then it gets like into the weird sets and you get introduced to that. So like in this movie, when they get lost and they go to Hell's Bucket, it's already weird before that. Like the movie just starts weird from the very beginning. And they said one of the things that audiences hated was in the beginning of this movie, he's in fancy lad school or whatever the hell he is.
Yeah.
And he gets out and there's just like a brand new, like early 90s limo.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I was gonna ask, what is the time period?
I don't think they.
No one knows.
I don't think they care.
I think that's part of the joke, right? That's like another layered joke through the whole thing, is where it's like, you think it's in fucking old England or whatever, because he's doing an accent too. What is he doing?
Yeah.
He's doing a weird. I mean,
he's doing a British accent, kind of.
Yeah,
but not really.
Yeah.
It's something weird. He's doing a British accent, right?
It's Chris Elliott, man. That dude's a genius.
It is like Chris Elliott. The humor of Chris Elliott doesn't. It is a weird combo because I don't put Chris Elliott's humor with Tim Burton per se. It is a little bit of a weird combo because, Chris Elliott is this very like sarcastic, dumb. It's dumb on purpose. And I loved him on Letterman. I was really, really into David Letterman as a kid. And I would stay up.
Sexually? Or the show?
Yeah, I mean, sexually, the
Just
show.
The late show?
I would, JO to DL. And I would have the DLLS, David Letterman Late Show, on while I was JOing.
You ever let me ask you something. You ever JO to PS?
PS.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze.
Nice glasses, bald head.
Oh yeah, I get chafed.
Playing the keyboard.
I've chafed myself with some chafing.
Yeah, I never watched Letterman because I was so young then. I was never up, and I just didn't understand talk shows.
I'm pretty old, and that was like. That Late Show, it kind of like ruined, like, I like failed classes kind of because David Letterman, this was back when it was like at the late night after Johnny Carson slot or whatever, or after Leno's slot or whatever. And
It was like
before
Conan.
came on, and that's
Conan.
when they did all the Chris Elliott stuff, and it was just these weird bits where he would just kind of come out and like sometimes they weren't even they weren't like joke driven funny, they were just like weird as shit and enjoyable and odd.
He had a very
We
Conan style show.
for
And he would,
sure,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
And he would do
super.
sketches. And like,
Well,
I would
this-
stay up late and watch Conan every night in high school.
Yeah, it was very Conan, very
Is
very.
Is this the only movie Letterman has acted in, like as a
I
character?
think so. I'm pretty
I'm sure he's been in movies as himself, but
I don't even know if that's true. Like I don't.
you know where they'll like cut to somebody
I
doing an
mean,
interview.
Jay Leno was the
on
king
Letterman.
of that, where they'd be like, "You heard about this President Davidson? This President
Yeah.
Davidson?" But like, I honestly don't like as a
I think
pretty
he's in
big,
Private Parts, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
He
is
does
in
it
Private
for his
Parts.
friends. But
Yeah,
So I-
Letterman is great. His character is really fucking funny in this movie.
he was a stand-up in the Comedy Store.
yeah, he was
Like
like a.
he,
I know he's a
he-
stand-up, but
I wonder if he ever did any
wouldn't peg him as-
sitcoms or shit in
Yeah,
the
he
late
had to.
'70s.
I wouldn't peg him as
Right
being like a
A's.
great actor, but he killed it in this.
Well, he
Yeah,
said he
his
was
part
very-
is super funny.
He was very comfortable around the director and Chris Elliott because he worked with them so much. And
He was their boss for so long.
but the other thing is, so Chris Elliott, he loved Letterman, or like I think he just was excited about Letterman having a show. Like he got on the show really early. Like he was a PA,
Yeah.
like from the beginning. Adam Resnick got on it really early. But then in the early '90s, they made a show called Get a Life, and that's how I
Yeah,
first saw Chris Elliott, and that was on Fox. And back when Fox was just like a brand new channel, and they would make weird shit like Married with Children,
Herman's
of course,
Head.
and The Simpsons.
Children.
Herman's Head. The actor in Herman's Head is in the new M. Night
Alf?
Shyamalan movie, Knock at the
Is
Cabin.
he really?
He plays one of the gay guy's father who rejects them, and he's like old. He's like an old man now with
Wait,
gray
you've
hair.
seen that? You've seen the movie?
Yeah.
I would argue David Bautista's breakout role is probably in this movie, and I haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah, he's one to watch.
How
You're gonna be
is
seeing
it?
this
Can
guy,
we,
Dave
can we
Bautista.
derail this story for me to ask you quickly how that movie is?
People like it, but I didn't like it.
It's
I didn't
well,
think it
you
was-
don't like M. Night, do you?
I'm hit or miss.
I'm 100% on M. Night's side. Every movie he
I thought,
makes is
like,
fucking great.
I thought Old was better.
Except
Split
Avatar.
was better.
Avatar sucks.
Ryan.
Avatar sucks. After Earth is fucking horrible. That movie is just
What's
straight
After
up
Earth?
the Will Smith movie with his son, where they like crash land on a planet and they have to hunt.
That's the Smiths ruining that one.
There's no twist in that one, right?
That's M. Night. I didn't know that.
couldn't
Stuart
finish
Little is a fucking banger. M. Night
I don't
wrote
think
Stuart Little.
I don't think he did.
Stuart Little?
M. Night
That was his-
Shyamalan wrote Stuart Little.
Yeah,
Look
he
up-
did
okay,
pass on that.
Look up,
He did
look-
it. He did.
He did it. So look up the year
Before
he blew
Sixth
up.
Sense.
He had Stuart Little. He had Sixth Sense all in 1 year. He had 3 or 4
Wow.
movies that were award-winning movies, and then that's what. Or
Stuart
whatever, they
Little
were
did not win
recognized.
any awards.
Oh,
Okay,
in my
only
heart
one
it
of them
did. It
won
won my
awards.
heart
It was The
award.
Sixth Sense, and he never wrote another stupid mouse movie ever
Then
again.
explain
But
why
Knock at-
everybody's driving little red Corvettes all the
Look,
time.
let me just
now.
end this Knock at the Cabin thing. Let me just say what I felt.
Okay, yeah.
I felt there was no suspense and there was no tension because the people who break into the cabin, they refuse to hurt anyone in the cabin.
Okay.
And then it's
Wow.
just like, okay, so this is just some
They're just big buff people.
this is like a R-rated movie that is basically a PG movie. Like this is fucking lame.
Yeah.
But
I
Dave
get-
Bautista is really good and it's shot really well, so it's interesting. But I mean, it just I thought it was going to be like a thriller, and I really wanted it to be a thriller, and it wasn't. And I wasn't really digging what it was, which is a story told with no irony and just kind of okay. Just I kind of felt like I just wasn't. I just thought it was like a missed opportunity, really.
Yeah.
Unlike Cabin Boy, which all the critics are wrong because this movie got horrible reviews. It was considered the worst movie ever made.
No,
David
the worst
Letterman,
movie ever made.
it became a punchline. So Dave Letterman, when he did the Oscars after this movie, which was like 2 months later, like right after
Yeah.
it, because Oscars are in March.
It
The
was
movie came
just
out in
fresh.
January. So the movie was like freshly horrible. And this is how I found out he was even in the movie, because it still wasn't on cable yet. Dave Letterman had Adam Resnick direct a bit that he hated doing, and he said it was humiliating, where it was a bunch of actors trying out for the Dave Letterman "Want to Buy a Monkey" role. And it's like, if you watched a clip on YouTube, Tom Cruise in it? Tom Hanks is in it. Steve Martin's in it. Just like a ton of famous actors. Alec Baldwin's in it. Maybe Martin
Waiting for that
Short.
role.
And they're just going like, "Want to buy a monkey? Want to buy a monkey? Want to buy a
Yeah.
monkey?" And it's like a joke about Cabin Boy, which no one saw. It's at the Oscars. It should be said also that Dave Letterman bombed that year and was never asked to host ever
Yeah.
again.
How
But-
And I will go back and say, I loved his Oscar
It was
hosting.
baller. It was funny.
great. It was so funny and just
Did Will
so.
Smith even slap him though?
No, Will Smith didn't slap him. They made out on stage for like 30 minutes.
Oh, he tongue
Just
slapped him.
just tongues, like tongues. No, but it was
Just
so
slap,
it was
slap.
it was the funniest because of any Oscar ceremony, he just acted like he treated it like his show, and he just kind of acted like he didn't
Yes.
care, and was just kind
Oh,
of took
that's
the piss.
that's tight.
He
Yeah.
just kind of took the piss out of it and just like made it super dumb. Like one of the famous bits was like he just up front where he just was like, "I want to introduce celebrities to each other: Oprah, Uma, Oprah, Oprah, Uma."
And he does it a
Uma.
long
And
time.
just does that for a while, and
Nobody's laughing.
and there's like
They start-
I mean, and like there's like
Polite
there was, like,
laughter, and then it just kind of dies, and then he just
Yeah.
really like relishes.
and then he does that Letterman
bomb.
thing. You know, that Letterman would do that thing where he'd like say a bit up front, and then for the rest, like, so, you know, he'd like make like an hour later, he'd make some random joke introducing
Yes.
somebody, and it wouldn't go well, and then he'd just kind of stare into the camera for a second and go, "Oprah, Uma,
Oh my god.
Uma," and
You're just
it
trying to
was-
call back.
I loved it. I
So-
loved it.
He's a big reason why the movie became like a famous punchline, because he would make a punchline about it on his
Yeah.
show for years.
Yeah, I remember
And-
one time Bob Newhart, I think, was on and was just talking about how he had a cameo in like, I don't know, it was like Elf or something. And he would just go, and David Letterman would just like stop and go, "Ah, you know what? I was in a movie. I was in a movie too. I was in Cabin Boy." And it would get a laugh, and then Bob Newhart would just go, "Well, I'm sure you'll be in the sequel." And then that would get a laugh too.
Yeah,
That's
like this
cute.
is so.
I thought David killed it in this though. I mean, I'm a Letterman fan.
Well,
Yeah.
Letterman is considered by many, like
Letterman
by test audiences.
jackets, David Letterman.
The test audiences loved
That's
Dave
it.
Letterman, and they were mad he didn't come back. Like they got like really bad preview scores. Like I listened to the audio commentary of this movie. So Adam Resnick and Chris Elliott were like, "Okay, we haven't watched this in 25 years," and they're like, they said they hadn't watched it since a color timing session, so not even like Premiere, movie theater, cable.
They're
Yeah.
still editing it.
And then like they're just so horrified and embarrassed because these guys thought, like, I've listened to Adam Resnick in an interview, like he shit on that movie 1941 by Steven Spielberg, and he was like, "Oh, that movie's terrible." It's like, you made the equivalent of 1941. You made Cabin Boy. Like there is good
Yeah.
stuff in both movies, but like he's a guy who like would be like, "Oh, Austin Powers 2, that movie sucks." Like he'll be like, "That's hack,
really?
that's lame.
Yeah.
Anything mainstream is bad. Anything like successful is
hipster
bad."
guy.
He's a total hipster guy. And then to be the fucking joke, the national joke movie of like the worst, it's like the
But
ultimate
that's
punishment.
cool. That's like the cult classic. You're a cult classic guy now.
I agree. I think he should embrace it because a lot of people, you know, Mike
It's
and
also
my age,
fucking
we grew up with
funny.
it. We like it. It's really funny, really
It's
mean and
really-
weird.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know. I want to get into some bits like the giant.
It's like Adult
is
Swim
funny.
humor.
Yeah, way
Yeah, it's
before
Early.
it's very like Adult Swim. It like predates kind of.
Have you
Predates Mr. Show.
have you seen Chris
Yeah,
Elliott's comedy special? It's free on
which
YouTube, and I can't
the
think of what it's called. But William, will you look it up if you haven't seen it? Where he
well
does
he
it,
did
the
he
Teddy
did
Roosevelt one,
yeah the FDR. It was the FDR
or
one man show.
FDR
Yeah,
one man show.
yeah.
If you
It's
haven't seen this, listeners, if you haven't seen this, I think it's free on YouTube. Whenever we figure out, William finds out what it's called. That shit is
he
probably
also
one
did.
of
I
my
remember.
fucking favorite.
FDR, a one-man show, 1987.
Have you seen it, William?
No.
It's
Watch
really
that
funny.
tonight, dude. It's really fucking
And
funny.
there's
It's
another
so
thing he
absurd.
did that's I like the FDR thing is funnier, but he did a weird thing too that was like it's called Action Family, and it was
Oh yeah.
it kind of like they made a show recently called like I Fucking Hate You or something like that that was kind of the same premise where it's Chris Elliott, and whenever he walks into his house, it's like just classic sitcom with like, you know, three cameras and like the laughs and the bad punchlines that get big audience. And then whenever he steps out of his house, he's a cop. And like on the sitcom, he's like, "Well, I just got back from that long day at the office," and it gets a laugh. But then when he goes outside, it's this like gritty cop show,
Murder
and it would kind of
drugs
and
and
it'll just like
violence.
bounce back and forth.
He also
But,
Eagle Heart is kind of like that. He
yeah,
loves.
Eagle Heart's
yeah.
so funny.
Eagle Heart was
He
great.
says he loves making fun of very masculine men
Yeah.
because he's so I don't know, non like sense. I don't want to say sensitive, but goofy. He's like goofy
Yeah.
and like
He's funny. He's
um,
absurd.
you know, this FDR thing. He's wearing like makeup. He's got a set. There's like but like he kind of likes that Pee Wee Herman thing of like the fake set and the fake
Mhm.
Yeah.
environment.
But
Like I
there-
was watching Get a Life, and there's like all sorts of like funny sets in that movie, but then it'll be like shot on the streets of LA, and then it'll cut to like a really fake looking set of a park with
Yeah.
literally like
Well, I
like
mean-
with a backdrop.
Where'd they film the boat scenes?
So
That's exactly what they did at Cabin Boy. It was
So
like
here's
kind
one of
of
the
a real
things-
village, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is a boat on a fucking
Yes.
lot on the Truman Show lot.
Yeah.
So Adam Resnick said like he didn't know what he was doing because it was his first movie and he was too polite. And they really just the Hollywood machine just fucked him so hard on this because
Yep.
they just kept doing the easiest things. And so when you make a movie, you have like all these pre-production meetings where people every head of department is sitting there and you have to talk about how you're going to make everything. And they do it pretty fast from those meetings. And it's just like all systems go. So you got to be like really on your shit. So what they needed to do in this movie was make two boats. They need a set boat, and then you need an actual boat that you could shoot in a harbor. So that first shot of him walking onto the boat and Andy Richter's there,
Yeah.
and it's the wrong boat, like it's a set and it's goofy and weird. And it's like, it just throws you off. And like the first 15 minutes of this movie is so bizarre with him at the school, the limo, the village, Dave Letterman, the boat.
I like that though. I like it because it's like every scene is like a constant world
Yes,
builder.
but
so like every
the
time
thing
it just
is-
zooms out, and you're like,
This
where are
happens
we?
to-
What is
Here's the thing with a lot of comedy cult movies like these guys make. You know, they don't hear the laughs in the theater the way if you see Airplane, like that's a famous story from the guy that made Caddyshack. He went and saw Airplane and everybody was laughing really hard, and he's like jealous of the laughs. Like they said Ace Ventura came out right after this, and which is such a big hit. The audiences loved it. Like you could just go into movie theater and see Ace Ventura and be like, oh shit, people fucking love this. People are quoting him.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
the stupidest fucking movie. And there's
I
like
still quote him every time I walk out of a bathroom. I say, "Do not
Yes.
go in there." And
magazine
everybody loves-
covers,
people laugh.
parodies,
Everybody's thought, oh, people love it when I do
pop
that. It's
culture.
funny.
It just wins it over. And it's like, this is just as dumb, just as weird, just as bizarre. But, you know, the real football team is an Ace Ventura. There's, it's really the Miami Dolphins. You know, you got
Yeah.
like, it has like authenticity there. Like I was thinking like, what if the scenes in Cabin Boy really looked like a storm? Like with the,
Yeah.
Like, what if there were
Yeah.
shots of like them on the boat in a storm, and it looked like a
Yeah.
real intense storm movie, like Hunt for Red October or something, like,
It
or I
would
don't know.
it
That's
would
not
bring it would heighten the
a fishing
absurdity
movie.
in a way. Like
Jaws.
it would heighten the insanity of like what they were saying and doing amidst this like real world stuff.
Actual, yeah,
Yeah.
it seemed
Eh,
very SNL skit. Like the
Yes.
It did
set
feel
design
like
was
Yes.
very,
yeah.
very,
And
very
every
late
dramatic
night.
moment is played so they just take a left turn on every joke, every punchline, every like they never play up any of the moments.
It's
Like
disorienting, and I love
he
it.
meets this girl that he's in love with on the boat who is swimming, and then he has sex with the 6-armed blue lady,
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
and then he
Dude,
like
who was
kiss.
that too? She was hot.
She's some actress. I looked her up. She's like a theater
Is
actress
she really
and dancer.
blue? And is that all? Are those arms
Yeah,
real?
yeah.
Yeah.
She JOs 3
Well, and then
guys
he-
to Dave Letterman every night with her
Yep.
6
And
arms.
then he hooks up with
Right
her,
to PS.
cleans his pipes, goes to his girlfriend or the girl he's trying to lay with. He's trying to bed, and who she was the first one too. She showed up, the swimmer that he caught in the net, and she's in like a modern swimsuit.
Trina.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you? What time period is this?
It's
But
That's
it's the
Melora
quantum realm.
Walters. She is in Boogie Nights, Magnolia.
One of my favorite lines though was when after he hooked up with her with the blue lady, 6-armed blue lady, he goes, "I'm ready to ravish you. I just hope." What does he say? He's like, "I hope the lack of 4 arms doesn't mess up, or I can't mess it up." I don't even know what he said exactly, but goddamn, that line was so funny to me for some reason. So stupid.
I was in a movie with Melora Walters, but we didn't have any
Oh,
scenes
yeah.
together.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cabin Boys Melora Walters.
Yep.
That's
Was she
tight,
blue?
dude.
She
Or
was
she's
blue.
a
this is the
swimmer.
swimmer.
No, she was
She's
the
a swimmer.
swimmer. She was in. It
Yeah,
was
also the best
it's a
joke
really
is when he
bad
rides her.
horror western called The Pale Door. It's not bad.
Oh, yeah,
It's a horror western called The Pale Door.
Check it out,
but
people. Pale
yeah,
Door.
you see me get killed real quick.
Oh,
So
definitely
one
check
thing that
out,
works really well in this movie are the 4 fishermen played by there's like the captain, he's the fat one with the beard. Then there's the guy who talks like this, who's in
Yeah.
like Natural Born Killers, and
Yeah,
I forget
the
what
coach,
else.
the coach from Major League.
Oh, is he the coach?
Yeah, he's a coach's assistant, but yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah.
he's been in a bunch of shit.
He died like pretty quickly after this movie, like 5 years later.
Oh,
And then
He was
really?
in the movie.
Or no, Brian James might have died first. Brian James
Oh,
is
Brian
the one
James, yeah,
really
yeah.
tall with he wears like wrestling gloves. He's like buff.
Yeah, he was
he's-
one of the replicants in Blade Runner.
Yes, he's in Blade Runner. He's
Ton of stuff.
he's in Tango and Cash, which I watched recently. He's in
It's
a
a
million
horror
things.
movie that he's like a slasher villain, electric guy or something.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
House. It's
remember.
like House 3. I forget what it. I just watched it. It's fucking awful. His scenes are amazing. He's like amazing in those shittiest movies.
Yeah.
And in this movie, he gets electrocuted, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill you." And then, fuck, who's the other guy in the movie? I just watched it. I forget. But like, he then like torments that guy and like stalks him. It's like a really shitty version of Shocker.
Yeah, it's not
And Shocker is
but
pretty
it's-
shitty too.
Yeah.
But
Shocker
this is
being,
really bad.
I think Mitch Pileggi is the titular
Wedgie?
from
Shocker.
X Files and 3 O'clock High fame.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and
What are
then
the cameos
Incredibly
were in Cabin
underrated.
Boy?
3 O'clock High.
And then the 4th fisherman is Brian Doyle Murray, Bill Murray's brother. He's in Caddyshack, Groundhog Day.
Which
He's
one's
also
before? Which one was that?
he's the one who always explains who the characters are, like Chalky. He's like
Oh
know,
yeah, okay.
a fisherman.
He
fuck the
knows
fit,
every
fuck
lore.
the shark.
He knows everything. Yeah.
He's also on Get a
They-
Life a lot.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
With,
Bill Murray's.
And that was
Older
really
brother, yeah.
They don't look at
Chris
like it all.
Elliott's father's his real father, right?
Yes, in the movie too. The
Yeah.
Get a Life father is the
Yeah.
father.
Oh,
and
really?
he's like a radio
and
guy.
he was like an old vaudevillain dude, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
there's a good, and I can't remember
Classic
the
case
name
of
of
nepotism.
it. I think I might even have it somewhere. they wrote a book together. They wrote like a dual, like Chris Elliott and his dad wrote a book together, and it's like a, it's like
Daddy's
a
Boy.
Daddy's Boy, yeah, and it's just them. It's like it's like dual biographies, and where they're kind of writing about each other, and it's really
Jesus,
funny.
that's
It's
funny as
super
shit.
funny. They're just like talking so much shit about each other. It's really good.
There's like
Damn.
I watched a bunch of Chris Elliott clips on Letterman today. There's like hours compilations because he was on the show for years. There's like this FDR thing. There's a lot of Chris Elliott content out there. Like he was
Yeah.
really on fire. Like imagine this: you're like 22, like out of school or whatever. You get to work on the Letterman show. Now you're on the air, like the first day, goofing around. Like you're doing bits. Your friends are like, "That's so cool!" Like
And
then
they're
you
so
get a
silly.
show.
You're playing. Like you're not even
Yes.
like go on, sorry.
You get a show, get a life, and you're like, okay, it's not the greatest thing, but like we got some buzz. People like it. Tim Burton wants something. And then you're like, we're making this movie Cabin Boy. And they said it just felt like horrible every day making the movie. Like
Yeah.
the crew hated it. Like no one, they said like when they showed up and they would look at the backdrop, they would be like, isn't that too close? Like, doesn't that look bad? And they're like, nah, you won't notice. There's like sandbags you can see in the water when he's
so that wasn't intentional.
raft.
I thought a lot of that kind of shit was
I thought it's all intentional too, but
like to be silly, like the chain in Pee-wee, the chain being seen coming through the bottom.
All of the chaos
Happy
in this
accidents.
movie is kind of visual and it's like director stuff, but the comedy and the acting and the timing is all pretty good. Like it's really funny. I mean, everything those fishermen say is hilarious. Like everything is funny. Like
Yeah.
purple lightning, that's a good sign. Like the boat's called the Filthy Whore. They're like great character actors. You know,
And
this would be like
this was definitely the first thing I saw Andy Richter in, or maybe
Yes,
he just
Andy
started
Richter's-
with Conan. I can't even remember.
No, this is before that.
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't even working on Conan?
No, he was trying to be an actor.
Or I mean, he wasn't on Letterman then at all, was he?
Andy Richter? He's on Conan.
Okay. For some reason I clocked him as
He's the Chris Elliott of
guy.
Conan, which is weird.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Very similar people. And he also had a bunch of fiascos when he tried to make it on his own.
Yeah.
There's so many of these comedies that are just so weird. People like kids love them, young people love them. Critics would just savage them in the 90s. They would just fucking be like, this is terrible. This nothing fun. Like the San Francisco Chronicle review of Cabin Boy, I saw like the clip is like, you will never smile once. You will never laugh once. There's nothing is funny. It's horrible. The character's annoying. Like Clifford, they hated. That movie's awesome. Freddy Got Fingered, they hate it, which is, I mean, that's offensive to the point where I get it, but it's like,
it's an awesome. It's
a fun.
Is what it is. It is what it. You know what you're getting into.
But to be like, there's nothing funny.
Like Ace Ventura too. Like I know it did well, but like I can't imagine it.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Critics are stupid though. Like
they like The Mask. They like The Mask, and they were kind of like he's showing more range. Dumb and Dumber, they have. I mean, here's the other thing that Tarantino says, which might be true for Jim Carrey. He said like it takes a few movies before they like you.
Yeah.
So the first movie, they're just like, Billy Madison was hated when that movie came out, but it did well. Wayne's World, people I think liked, but it's like Billy Madison, people hated.
It had a
Happy Gilmore. Billy Madison got the worst review I've ever seen in a newspaper.
Really?
Because I used to get the Chronicle.
How old were you? Hold up. Okay, I'm picturing a little like 5-year-old William just drinking a coffee, eating a little scone, and just reading.
I love the movie section in the newspaper, and in the 90s, it was still going on. It'd be a nice big folded packet. You'd open it up, you see they would do full page ads for movies, and you would see like. And I lived in the suburbs and I couldn't see these movies, but I'd be like, oh, there's this like of course I'm a little pervert. I'm like, oh, this movie's NC-17. It's in San Francisco. Oh, I got to remember the name in case I can ever rent it one day.
Yeah.
Like it's called The Bank Robber with Patrick Dempsey, and I watch it. It's fucking awful. And the only sex.
William Spank Bank is just a bunch of movie titles.
Yes, I
On a
used to
piece of
know like
paper.
all the nude scenes before Mr. Skin.
Yeah, you're
like,
Mr. Skin, dude. You're Mr.
But-
Titty.
Cabin Boy got like in the Chronicle, it'd be 5 ratings. A guy clapping like crazy, clapping, sitting there asleep, and then the chair is just empty, like he just left. It's like a little cartoon. So Cabin Boy got the guy gone, empty chair. Billy Madison got the empty chair, but they used to do this thing where like the shitty movies they would review on Saturday, like they went to see it that day on Friday. And then Billy Madison got a review on Monday, which is like the latest I've ever seen a review, and he hated it. And the review was like a paragraph long, and it was like in the 3rd page of the paper. And I was like, wow, I've never seen a movie get a review this late. And also, but whatever, like they let these guys make these comedies, and then they just fucking hate them and they tear them apart. It's
Because
weird.
It's almost like critics aren't creative people, and they're not funny, and it's almost like producers and all these other people that aren't actually making the content. They're just not they're not good at being they're not artists, so they're gonna they just don't get it.
But they make movies, and they greenlight movies,
Because
and they pay for
make money.
everything.
They make money, and they want to get it. I think they want to feel. It's like a FOMO situation where it's like, why can't
Here's
I
the
be
other
cool?
thing. In the 90s,
'Cause
critics
the
actually
comics
had
and the writers are
cachet.
the cool ones.
Siskel and Ebert actually had influence.
Yeah,
so they would
could.
love to shit on a movie because then they could be like, yeah, we've made it bomb. We're better than
they
that.
were pitchfork.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And then
It's dumb.
occasionally there would be a thing where like a Billy Madison or like a, I think Ace Ventura was reviewed poorly, where it would break out anyway.
Yes.
And all these, studio, like, I know like there was a lot of sort of like Ace Ventura ripoffs where like, well, we're just gonna base a movie around a insane kind of likable like
Live action
The
cartoon.
Pest, like the
Yes,
Pest
Jim
with John
Carrey.
Leguizamo.
He's very Jim
which
Carrey.
is going for
energy.
that, or that Harlan Williams Rocket Man, where it's just these nonsense, insane random
Gross Out. Dumb and
characters.
Dumber has the gross out thing.
Yeah,
Dumb and Dumber was a huge fucking hit. Like
Yeah,
that was
big,
such a big
big.
hit. But
This is
Jim
rental. I
Carrey
think that was it bigger in theater or like rental?
no, it was a big.
both.
It was big. Yeah,
Both. Because
Dumb and Dumber did well in the theater. Ace Ventura did well. The one that was Ace Ventura did better than people thought it would.
yeah.
David Allen Greer used to come into the writer's room every day at In Living Color and be like, did you guys hear what Jim Carrey's working on? He's making a movie called Ace Ventura Pet Detective, and like laugh in his face, make
funny
fun of
title.
him every day at work. And then the movie was a humongous hit. And he was
Yeah.
just like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot.
And then it's funny. I remember David Allen Greer being a guest
Whoops.
on.
But hey, he admits it.
Arsenio. I remember, and this was like when, this was like post Dumb and Dumber, where Jim Carrey was like now like a bona fide like superstar, and Arsenio like basically asking him about that, and he was like, yeah, I can't really call Jim Carrey because we weren't that close before, so he's like, it would be weird if I called him now, and I was like, hey man, I know we haven't talked in 3 years, but I've been meaning to call you.
Yeah.
And it was
can I
like a
borrow
weird
20
thing of like
bucks?
just admitting like, and I've always wondered what the environment was like for Jim Carrey on In Living Color. Like this seems like he was operating in a real different kind of
Oh, he's a token white dude. Like
He's a
that's
token
like-
white dude, but also
the comedy
he's a
style was
brilliant
so
hire.
different.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing
that's
is-
why they had like I think it was a perfect. That's why it was like perfect timing.
his rejection from SNL is insane. The fact
Yeah.
that Jim Carrey, Al Franken, was probably the one, because it's always him who would be like,
Well,
he's
I feel
not
like
funny.
Jim's probably a dickhead though. I'm sure Jim is hard to be in a room with, like
I-
conversationally.
But
and,
Keaton
you know,
Ivory
he seems
Wayans and
intense.
Damon Wayans, They did
Yeah.
stand up at the Comedy Store where Jim Carrey did stand up, and they would be
So
like,
they already
"It's like
knew
a
him like that.
this is a fucking crowd killer. Like, we need to get this motherfucker on our show. Like, this guy
Yeah.
is, if you don't hire him, you're an idiot. Like, what are you, asshole or not? Like, this is one of the funniest people in the world.
I
Like,
bet it's better.
he's doing
I think it's better
impressions.
he went on In Living Color. The rubber face man, dude. Nobody was that rubbery.
He got like
Oh, hold
multiple
on. Mike's
sketches
doing
an
it.
episode.
Mike's doing it. He looks like
Uh-oh.
Ernest Goes to Camp.
Clint Eastwood.
He's dying.
But anyway, after Cabin Boy, Chris Elliott went on SNL and bombed.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like he was a cast member?
It was a
Yeah.
it was a real weird season with him and
94, 95 is
Jean
like the worst
Garofalo,
year.
Laura
Mark McKinney.
Keitlinger,
Mark McKinney
too
from
old.
Kids in the Hall.
Mark
That's
McKinney.
too alternative.
Everybody was
That's-
kind of old.
Janine
older.
Garofalo, right? Did we say her?
Janine Garofalo.
Yeah, he said that. That's
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know she was even on there.
People were saying Mad TV was better at the time, and they were saying like they were going to cancel SNL, and
No, you can't cancel this.
that's what people would say. Well, critics, of course, love to just be like, "This is not funny.
Yeah.
They should cancel SNL. We should kill it." There was a whole like they had people actually read magazines about media and shit, and you know they liked boring shit. They liked Forrest Gump, you know.
Yeah.
What? That was riveting.
You just like the AIDS stuff.
That's my favorite part. I like seeing
Yeah.
people without legs.
Yeah.
Well, you
my
must love
kink.
Chalky, the half man, half shark.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! If you throw a fin where them legs should be, whew.
Mm.
Call
So,
me
like, this is
Lieutenant
an-
Chalky.
That actor's Russ Tamblyn. He's in West Side Story. He's Amber Tamblyn's dad.
So
He
he's
used to hang
David
out-
Cross's father-in-law.
Father-in-law. Yes, he's
Ugh.
like he's best friend. He was best friends with Dennis Hopper and Dean Stockwell.
Oh wow.
That was like their crew. Like Harry Dean Stanton.
Does he play
So-
that kind of character, the buff Burt Reynolds type? Usually,
No, he's a song and dance man in musicals when he was like young. Like he's in a few. If you look up Russ Tamblyn dance scenes, you'll see some of the most amazing dances you've ever seen in your life. He was like he was like a teen heartthrob, I guess. But then I guess he got into drugs and he wanted to be like a cool, edgy 60s guy. I don't know. He just kind of jobbed around, but they said he was really nice and really was supportive of the movie and liked wearing, you know, the costume.
I mean,
and
you gotta just own that character. If you get hired to be fucking
Yeah,
half man, half shark because your parents, when you go, so what's my character's passion, background? What do I draw from? Well, it was a Viking.
He's
who
a
fell in
mermaid.
he's a Viking who fell in love. Like the origin story though is a
Yeah,
Viking back in
a
the day
sailor.
fell in love with a shark. And
oh,
it was
a Viking.
it was a Viking, yeah. So that's why he's so buff and cool. And Viking fucked a shark, got saved by a shark, or saved a shark, and then started fucking a
Yeah.
shark, and then had a baby. they had
He
one
comes back-
offspring, and it was Chalky.
Half man, half shark. He,
Chalky.
But then the guy, was it Bill Murray's brother? That character is like, when Chris Elliott's describing, he's like, I don't know. That's the best I can describe it. It was a man, shark man. And he goes, did he have the torso of a man, but the body of a shark? And it was just so specific. It was like, yeah, why?
That's Chalky.
So stupid. That's Chalky. Oh no. And then
He's
he
an
knows
amazing
his
character.
personality. And then he goes, he's got a pretty ill temper. One day he'll love you, and then the next he will be bashing your head in. We got to be careful. Like they know his
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
disposition.
One of his legends.
Isn't he supposed to be a myth or a legend? Yeah.
I wish I could remember more of the lines because they're so fucking funny.
Yeah.
It is, they're so dry, like they're so low key, like they just kind of pop up, and then you're like, oh right, that's fucking stupid. In the best
Sure.
way.
Yeah,
I wish-
I could. That's why
I
it's such
wish-
a rewatchable movie, I guess. 'cause
Yeah,
the
Like when we-
lines are
when we
funny, but you
describe-
can't.
When we describe the Kraken or
Purple Lightning.
the
I
fucking
remember that one.
Megalodon, when we describe the Megalodon, when we describe Bigfoot, we don't talk about his disposition. He's emotionally unstable, so he Like, how close has
He's
have you
real
been?
irritable.
Like, 1 second he hates radishes. Like, how? That's such a specific thing to know
All
about
right.
Bigfoot.
These pipes are clean. That's obviously a famous one.
And then he's
Want to
all
buy a
hunky.
monkey.
Want to buy a monkey? I just don't get it. She seems totally uninterested in me, despite my smothering obsessiveness.
Yeah, that's such a good sentence. That's like poetry.
I'm sorry, sir. I was just pondering what drifter's corpse you stole those shoes from. It's all shit like that. It's just always like a funny insult line.
Yeah, I really love. All right, thanks, little girl.
Yes.
Oh, they keep
yes.
calling him a little girl.
Yeah, move along, little lady.
And they're not
Aren't
even
you a
doing it to
pretty little girl?
be mean. They just genuinely, I think, see him as a little girl. Like, it's not even
It's
like
so
an
funny. You
insult.
know, the other thing that's funny about Chris Elliott is even when he was like in his whatever 20s working on Letterman, he still looked like he was like a 45-year-old dude.
Yes. He's bald, like from a
Bald
very
with a
young age.
beard.
I think his appearance
tall
is
as
another
hell,
reason
too.
why people hated this movie, because they're like, who is this ugly bald
Yeah.
guy
Trying to
in
be
the
the lead.
movie?
Yeah.
I think that really pissed people off. They're
Is
just
he?
like,
He's
no.
grab my good hand, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Scary Movie 2. Yes.
Yeah.
We
Scary
should talk
movie.
about that.
Grab my good hand. That's like one of the most famous quotes from that goddamn movie. Of course, it's him.
The Wayans brothers, scoop it in, picking up some good talent.
They love these goofy white boys. They love these silly, goofy white boys.
Man, well, let them know I'm here. I'm available. I'm silly. I'm goofy. I'm white.
Hey, Damian Wayon. I've never know how to say their name. Damian Wayon. Talk
There's
to my boy Mike here.
There's a lot
tell you
of
this-
Wayans.
Kim
I'll tell you
Wayans,
the
Keenan
story
Ivory
about
Wayans,
how
Sean
I-
Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Damon
how I was-
Wayans,
I was
Damon Wayans
supposed
Jr.
Jesus, you know them all right off the top.
Scary Movie or dance movie that has a really good scene with Amy Sedaris as a dance instructor named Miss Camel Toi, who has a giant camel toe, and she's basically playing like if Jerry Blank was a dance instructor.
God damn, the Wayans are funny as hell. We need more. We need more scary movies. I'll be honest. Not a popular opinion, but
I bet there will be because there's so many horror movies right now, and horror
Yeah.
movies are so hot.
you think they'll do a reboot? Because what's the last Wayans?
Well, two, but then the Zuckers took over for Scary Movie 3.
No, I mean, but then they are not another teen. Like they just kind of branched off.
I looked up the Wayans brothers recently and what they were up to. Not much.
It was weird for a minute there where
since New Girl.
Keenan Ivory Wayans was trying to do action movies for a little bit there. He was in like The Glimmer Man and some, I don't know, there was a
Leading Man kind of roles.
Yeah.
His first movie is amazing. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
That like really made him into a bigger that's like a big video store hit.
Which
Got him in
Wayans is
Living
in
Color.
New Girl?
That's
think that's Damon Wayans
that's Damon
Jr..
Wayans' son.
He's a son, not a grandson.
Yeah.
We're about to get grandson Waynes.
I'm sure, yeah.
This is like this is a fucking dynasty. And I love it. I'm here for it all. They're so funny and silly.
Their show.
Oh, they're gonna start making new Wayans Brothers TV show episodes.
Okay.
Men on Film, reference to In Living Color. Also, it's funny that like
oh, that's right.
This black show, the one humongous breakout megastar is the white guy who just like
Yeah.
Well, J-Lo.
Definitely nothing happened with the white lady.
Oh yeah, the dancer, the hot dancer.
J-Lo. Yeah, it was like that's
She's
what's
a megastar.
Crazy. That's what's crazy about In Living Color is it was perfect. They gave I don't know. They took a shot on everybody.
It's perfect, but it died
It
really
paid off.
fast.
Yeah,
really
but
fast.
then it didn't. Then it blew up though for J-Lo and Jimmy.
They had to write a lot of fucking sketches too. Half hour a week for 26 episodes.
Well, there was
a ton of recurring characters.
There was a
Yeah,
ton of recurring characters, and the other thing that I watched a couple years ago, I watched some In Living Color episodes, and it was it was funny in that there were some episodes that there's only 2 sketches because it was
Oh
a
yeah,
half hour, so 22-minute show, and the dance
the
intro
rap.
is crazy long, and then they would have Keenan Ivory Wayans like because he hosted every quote unquote hosted every
Yes.
episode, and it would him talking, so that would eat up like a solid like
The
6
intro
minutes.
is so long.
So long for 22 and then there was these like these like minute long like intro outro of each sketches, so they ate up a ton of time, so sometimes there would just be one long sketch and then one real little quickie.
Yeah, like the head detective or like handyman would have
Yeah,
a full blown graphic like TV show intro, like
yeah,
handyman is filmed in front of a live studio
yeah,
audience, yada yada yada. Like they would just like, yeah. Plus they have the rap guest, right? And then they would have like
totally,
song parodies. Those
yeah,
videos would take up a lot of time.
and dancing, just general
Yeah,
fly girl dancing, and
I
it is
remember
fun, like
being.
I I don't have any anger towards it, but there are some sketches like the Men on Film sketch is so like there's no it's so you just couldn't get away with it today at all, there's some pretty insanely kind of just race stuff and homosexual stuff that was probably not cool
They
anymore that
they didn't want to put it on back then, but they made the executives watch them perform it, and they said it was like a bomb went off in the studio. Like the
yeah,
audience was going crazier for that sketch than anything,
yeah,
because that's perfect, like for the time, like black comedy. Like that's like
yeah,
perfect because they would juice up their performances based on the audience's reaction. You
yeah,
watch Damon Wayans like smirk and laugh, and you know they said on,
yeah,
so to bring it back to Cabin Boy, he said no, the crew hated them and no one would laugh. And every day they would come home and they would feel like, did we do a good job? Like, was that funny? Like, I don't know
yeah.
what we got. They said like it wasn't a good feeling ever to work on the movie,
That's
but it's
awful.
pretty fucking funny. I mean, the fishermen, everything they say is funny.
Yeah,
It's so mean and it's so specifically it's insulting.
Well, I mean, just those few quotes you said are like, what are you talking about? This isn't funny. It's just dry. It's pretty dry, I'd say. It's
When
somehow, it's
he
like
squirts the
blatantly
hot
dry.
coffee on him, they throw the cans at him.
They
They're
make
so
him
mean.
dance. Yeah.
So he calls
yeah,
But he's so stupid.
he when he gives her the fish when he gives him the fish stick kitties, he says,
Oh
he
my
does it in a funny voice. He's like, "Hi, how you doing?" And he's like, "You're no Edgar Bergen." And I was like, "Who the hell is Edgar Bergen?" So I googled that. That's Candace Bergen's dad. He was a ventriloquist. There's like all these funny pictures of
Just
this.
super
yeah,
subtle.
yeah. He he was really famous as a ventriloquist, and he was so like famous. He had a this is so insane. He had a radio show that was really popular. He was a
Really?
ventriloquist with a radio
With a
show.
audio only
Yeah,
show.
an audio only medium. That's how popular he was.
How did he do that?
I think he just did the other voices, and but the characters were so like likable
Funny?
that like
Yeah.
people didn't care that they weren't
Yeah,
seeing.
we don't need the puppet.
But yeah,
Jeff Dunham
like
could only dream of such things.
We don't need no puppets around here. I'm gonna do a
this era
jello
of
shot.
comedy is so weird because they say they would make these like low budget comedies, and then like The Pest, this movie, it's like you have to print 35 millimeter prints, you have to like do advertising, and it's just they would this is the last golden era of studio filmmaking where they
Hmm.
like dominated, and they would like they make posters, they would put out like a studio would put out maybe a movie a month back then, and
Yeah,
now they put out 6 movies a
Couple a
year.
year.
Like
yeah,
they were pumping them out, and it's very funny for this thing to just come out, like just to have like the worst advertising, the worst video covers, the worst PR trailers. It just is like a hideous looking
Yeah, what did they promote it on?
advertising
Letterman?
campaign.
I'm sure. Yeah, I don't remember the ad campaign too
MTV
much.
maybe.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah.
see, like, how would you advertise this?
Definitely like
The funniest comedy, the wackiest comedy.
Yes.
I'm sure to the same
the
audience
goofiest.
that they would have targeted like Ace Ventura to, that kind of college stonery kind of I don't know how
High
they
school
define
boys.
that demo back then, but for
I could see
sure
Chris
that
Elliott pushing a dramatic
MTV. They just pumped it on
dramatic-
MTV.
a dramatic angle. Like for the
he
ads.
he is it he's Chris Elliott pops up in the
No, he
James
gets hit in the head
Cameron
with like a hook. Oh yeah, he's in the abyss
The
for one
Abyss.
scene.
He's like, and it's funny because you keep expecting him to say something funny, and he just doesn't really.
He's in Manhunter.
He's just kind of, yeah, he's kind of. It's big. I think that's his line where he's like looking at the spaceship coming out of the water and just goes, it's big.
Huh.
Yeah, he never did the dramatic thing, which is good. I mean, he's really good in Kingpin and There's Something About Mary.
Yeah.
But he never did like a dramatic role. Like he never tried to be like
No, I was saying the advert for
Chris
the
Elliott actor. You know, Chris
for
Elliott
Cabin
in
Boy. It could have been
a
funny
movie
to
about
like
alcoholism.
make the trailer look like it's an actual dramatic coming of age fancy lab to
Right. But that's
Man.
because they don't even do the first act that way. They don't even set it up in that
yeah.
dramatic,
But that's why it'd be funny for the
believable
trailer to be
way.
that
Like shooting it in LA, it's like they just got rope-a-doped and said yes into everything, and every decision was bad. It's like, oh well, if we shoot in LA, it's cheaper. And it's like, yeah, but there's no like upper crust schools in LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to go to the New England. You want like old looking. You don't want that California sun
Yeah.
for your like prestigious school. You want like, or if you do, you have to do it in a California way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just everything is like so weird looking. Alfred Molina, he's the teacher. They said he was just horrified by the movie. He thought he was playing the headmaster or something, and like
He did play the headmaster for the first 1 minute of the movie.
but he's a teacher. I don't know, but like they said he hated it.
He calls him the headmaster, like Chris Elliott's
Oh, he
character.
does?
calls him-
Okay.
Yeah. He's the headmaster, but he
They
thought
maybe
he was gonna
I
be the
think
whole movie. You think?
I think also they have. Oh, they think everything's worse than it really is.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so
Well, I don't
too.
get that though. Why? Because it's like
Because they,
maybe it just aged well. Because Adult Swim.
it's not the
like,
movie they wanted to make.
humor. Yeah.
Yeah, I do wonder what the movie they wanted
But
to
humor
make
has
looked
gotten
like.
sillier.
I don't think he knows. I don't think they know how to direct. Adam Resnick, he doesn't know how to direct anything.
Well,
Yeah.
he
Chris Elliott
literally
didn't
said
know.
he said he didn't want to do it.
And Chris Elliott, I don't think understands how to be. He knows how to be funny for Letterman's audience and get a life, but then
Well, it's that SNL vibe. Like the set, like it was very.
It's hard for me to
sketch
conceptualize
comic.
what a
they
big
said
what a breakout version of this movie looks like. Like it seems like with this cast and crew, like it's kind of
I think it would
needs to
bomb
be
if Tim Burton
culty.
directed it.
Yeah, I think it
And
needs to be
it would have
culty.
ruined Tim Burton's career because like Tim Burton has made some horrible comedies like Dark Shadows or
Yeah,
Mars Attacks is like funny, but there's a lot of just like fat in
Dark
Mars
Shadows
Attacks.
was a paycheck.
There's like shit in Mars Attacks where it just kind of goes on. It's too long. It's
Yeah.
too detailed. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I mean, he can get too into the details. There would be like the opening title sequence would be better. The opening title sequence to this is so bad where you see like a map and then you see like a person's name and then just like a blue fish vertically raises and transitions the name. And like Chris Elliott in the commentary is like, is this what we had planned the whole time? And then Adam Resnick's like, I don't know. But like Adam Resnick,
They just don't
he said he
remember.
They wanted to do like a 40s movie where it'd be like cursive handwriting and like, you know, like just text with
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
music playing, or like a book with like pages turning. They wanted to do it like a 40s thing, and they were like, no, we have to do it like in a like Wayne's World or a Wacky or whatever. Like we're gonna lean into the Tim Burton visual effects things.
Yeah, it sounds like
Uh,
they did not have the juice to fight
They
back
didn't have
with
the
studio
vision,
notes. Yeah.
but it kind
Um,
of some stuff looks pretty good. Like the cupcake that looks awesome. The cupcake that spits tobacco in his face.
Oh
yeah.
his-
yeah, that's all right.
That's my favorite scene in the movie. First of all, the raft scene where they want to kill him,
Tripping balls.
so they give him 2 miles of slack, and he's like,
Yeah.
and he asks if it's okay to drink seawater or
Well,
if it's bad. They're like,
he goes, what is this, like 10, 15 feet out or what? And they go, well, it's 2 miles. And
yeah,
it's like, what? That's too far. 2
they're like,
miles?
is it okay if I drink seawater? Or I heard seawater might be bad for you. He's like, never heard of that before.
That's new to me.
Yeah. So when he drinks chocolate milk, and then he's like, Crisco, that's nature's tanning oil or what? Suntan
Yeah.
oil. And he's just like
That's
cooking
all
on
he
the
has is
side.
chocolate milk and vegetable oil is all they gave him on the raft.
And he eats the moldy bread.
So he's tripping off that.
So the
Ooh,
cupcake is
green.
yeah, the cupcake is designed by Tim Burton. So he kind of has a Tim Burton look with his like eyes. He looks like a balloon from Batman or something.
Yeah, I honestly
Yeah.
didn't like the cupcake that much because it seemed too different than like the ice monster and the ice golem and the what was the other one?
The ice
The
golem scene,
moon?
I think, is
The moon was so cute. Was
Yeah.
it the
in the wind.
The wind.
It's like
Yeah.
a map, like on an old map. They have the wind blowing, so they have that come alive.
yeah?
But
Yeah,
there-
it's a bummer that it hasn't gotten a little bit more of a cult pop because it does seem like
Well, it's
it
kind
has
of
an audience,
slow.
but it or that there couldn't be like a director's cut or something.
I was thinking about that while I was watching it, and I was honestly expecting to laugh a little bit more, like, you know, like actually laugh and not like be like, oh, that's a good line, but like gutturally laugh, and I didn't do that.
Yeah.
As
yes,
there's a
I don't
lot
think
of
so.
it wasn't a lot. It wasn't an LOL situation.
If you were in a big theater
but I
now,
appreciate it.
revival, people would laugh. But
New Beverly, like if you know what you're getting
New Beverly,
into,
yeah.
because people know
Pee-wee's Big
they've seen it
Adventure, everybody
already,
laughed.
and they know when they need to laugh. Yeah,
Even Gummo,
They're
everybody
famous.
was laughing at New Beverly. Like, but I think they just knew, like in the movie theaters where this played, people weren't laughing. And you
Yeah.
could just feel it. And you're like,
Oh,
because
this
people were
was
confused and
Very
people were kind of
confusing
like,
for people.
whereas like if like a
Was
drunk college
disorienting,
kid
yeah.
saw Ace Ventura, he was gonna laugh. A high school kid, middle school
Yeah.
kid. And like this is the era of like Hook and really good visual effects movies. So the visual effects being this old fashioned
Yeah, like state theater play
was-
style.
Jurassic Park had come out 6 months before.
It was
Okay, yeah.
definitely was like Adult Swim. I mean, the dude was like one of the lead, Chris Elliott, one of the leading like alternative comedians of the 80s and
Yeah.
90s, right? Like
Yeah, I
everything
think
he was
he'd
all
be
everything he
considered
did was
that.
absurd as hell.
Get a Life is really funny. I was watching that
I've
today.
never seen that. I need to.
It was
I need to
good.
watch
It
that.
was a show that I think would have benefited from not having a laugh track, because the sometimes the laugh track is a little too
Sitcom.
loud on parts that are like, no, this is a laugh, but it's not that kind of a laugh. And I don't
They
think
said
it
they
was
mix it loud on purpose to make it
Yeah, and I
more
don't
annoying.
think
like,
it was
they
shot
hit-
on a studio audience. I don't think it
Are you
was.
saying? Are
No,
you
it's a
saying,
fake.
like-
It's literally a fake laugh track, like a fake.
Yeah.
But are
It's
you
a
saying this is
pastiche.
like you're like watching it and you're like, this is more of a hee moment?
Yeah,
but they're
totally.
but they're hitting me with the ha ha laugh track.
Exactly. Yeah. Like
And then
a-
on this one, it's more of like a tee hee, and they're hitting me with the hee hee.
It was Michael
Kinda
Jackson
like
like
that.
that.
You're
Yeah.
like Mozart for laugh tracks. Ryan.
Yeah.
You're just like,
That's
a
funny. That's like
TT
the
should be.
17th time somebody's told me that.
That you're the Mozart for laugh tracks?
Yeah, 17th time.
Wow.
Mark it
Here's what we
down.
got to do: a sketch. It's Amadeus, but it's a guy who does laugh tracks,
Mm-hmm.
and he's jealous of the Mozart the Ryan who can just do the laugh tracks
Who can
perfectly.
just do it without even is such a
I'm the
prodigy.
preternaturally good at
I'm
it.
the Rick Rubin of laugh tracks. I just come in and I close my eyes and meditate for a while and listen to the tea. I don't even watch the show.
You have a beard. You have a huge
And I go-
beard. Yeah,
Huge
you're
beard,
like
no shoes
on.
meditating.
I go, that one's
Yeah.
off. That should be a ha-ha, not a hee-hee. That should be a ha-hee-ha. That should be a
Ha-hee-ha.
ha-hee-ha. That should be a ha-hee-ha. Ha-ha, hee-ha.
And then you like
Hey. And then
cry. You're crying. You're like, yeah, it should be an aw.
Oh.
And then when
It is hard. It's really hard for me to watch stuff with laugh tracks. Like it does not.
It's weird anymore. Yeah.
I think like Seinfeld
cool.
sort of feels
It's hip.
okay with it, but that's about
Well,
it.
the old shows are fine.
If it's
Even
real,
there's
it's
times
fine.
there's times like because Cheers is one of my favorite sitcoms of all time, and there's times where I'm like that laugh seems too amped up. Like that
Just
was a
doesn't
funny
date.
line, but yeah,
Simpsons.
Can we
no
talk
laugh
about
track.
can we talk about an actual LOL situation in fucking Cabin Boy? And I kind of mentioned it a couple times when he fucking rides his girlfriend, and they only do 2 scenes.
He's
They
standing
close-
up with a harness like a dog,
like a fucking
like a
like
sled
sleigh
dog.
Yeah, but it looks like he's on a jet ski, kind of too. And she's just that is one of the funniest visuals. When that popped on, I just started laughing. So
What
hard.
about the
'Cause it looks-
businessman?
there's no physics in that. That doesn't make any fucking physical
Yes,
sense. He's
yes.
just standing on her lower spine
yeah.
while she's just doing a freestyle swim. And
Fast.
they're
She's going fast.
moving. And he's hata, ha-ha-ya. Let's go, girl. That shit's so funny.
Just dominates her.
And then that's how they end the movie. He rides off into the sunset on her.
You can really feel that like there's a lot of cut shit by the end where they just like after they kill the big giant guy or Chalky like bites him and
that
he has like the nail clippers.
You
could tell that was a mess. You could tell that was a
job-
mess to shoot.
Oh, absolutely. But then that when he comes in, when you find out it's a giant, this is
Yeah.
what reminded me of like the Odyssey, because he runs into all these mythical creatures.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
On his way on a ship journey home.
Yeah, there's like it is like the Odyssey because there's a movie but it's also like movies like Jason the Argonaut, Seventh Voyage of
Last Voyage of
Sinbad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sinbad, Seven Seas, Conqueror of the Seven Seas. But the giant, his job, he goes, I knew I shouldn't have opened an appliance store on this mythical.
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody's got magic. Or what is it, an appliance store?
because they're in Hell's Bucket. The
Yeah, and he's like, there's fairies and dragons and shit, and he's trying to sell them washer and dryers. Like
the
Yeah.
ship.
what a
The ship.
what a funny
It's so
character.
funny. Just a
I'd like to
businessman who's a giant.
They're all just
With
little
a
skits
pocket
and
protector.
pound. Yeah. He's got his pocket protector. He's
Yeah, I was thinking about that guy.
fucking
Like, it must have been
stupid.
hard. But here's what, like, it's funny because they don't think about what this is going to do for them because they weren't planning on making it. And they don't really know. They don't have the experience. Every shot of that guy who's the giant is shot separately from the other actor.
Yeah.
And they have to cut in
Green
these weird
screen,
ways.
enlarge it or whatever.
And the fight scene is really complicated with like puppet. He's just holding a puppet, Chris
He's-
Elliott.
Yeah, which is funny as shit, and I think that's intentional, right?
Yeah, that's
The
like
obvious paper mache puppet.
Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Yeah.
You know, there's like all these old 50s movies like that. But it makes it hard to do anything because like the people on the boat are a different set, and then you have them fight, and then you have Chalky.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You're doing this, and then you cut, and it's just like movie's over. They're in Hawaii, which is clearly shot in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like drinking, you know, cocktails or whatever. And then
Yeah, now it's like 2020 is what it fucking looks like. Like there's cars driving around and you're like, why was he even on this boat? Why do these
Yeah.
boats even exist at this time? Like even Fisher boats aren't that bad. That was like an old pirate boat.
they're not used to just making a movie where you like lead an audience on a journey. They're like used to this like one sketch after the other. So
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
what it
thing,
was. Yeah, it was just
that's what makes
sketch,
it so funny
a quilt of skits.
because there's
With
so
the
many
through
jokes
line
in it.
being, with the through line is him just traveling. Yeah,
And it is, I think like the other thing that might have like not gone great is like his character, the Chris Elliott character, is kind of unlikable, and
yeah.
and
He's
So
such a dick.
and there's
unlikable. He's
and for like
exclusively unlikable.
for a for a big audience, like I don't like Chris Elliott wasn't, he was hot in like underground circles, but he wasn't like a famous name yet. Like there wasn't anybody in this movie who was like pulling a bunch of asses into the seats. There wasn't anybody like
Yeah.
particularly famous in
Maybe
They
this
wanted
movie.
Bill
Letterman,
Murray.
maybe
He turned
Letterman.
it down. That's why
Bill-
his brother's in it.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Like, let's get Bill
yeah,
Murray.
well,
And Bill Murray's like, no.
yeah, my
it's
brother.
crazy because a lot of these people are like super famous now, or like famous
Yeah,
now.
the whole
Andy
the whole
Richter
movie
and-
rests on Chris Elliott's shoulder, and it just completely crushed him. That like
Yeah.
responsibility. He has no one to defer to.
There was
yeah,
not.
I
I
thought
don't.
he was fine though. I thought he did fine in it.
No, he did fine, but it is hard to sell a movie where it's an actor that not nobody, but most people, the general populace, doesn't know, one, and then
Yeah.
two, it's an unlikable. He's playing an unlikable character, whereas
So your first
you know,
impression is,
yeah.
you
So
hate
where
me.
if
I'm
you're
a snarky asshole.
Yeah, if you're playing an effete snarky asshole at that
Yeah.
time too,
And he's like kind of gay because he's
Yeah,
like very
that's,
feminine.
honestly, for the 90s,
He's-
like that's
he's-
probably a part of it too. Like he's playing this fey, you know,
He's in that
uh,
nightgown with the with the he puts a
He's-
face mask on.
Yeah, he wears a face mask when he goes to sleep.
We don't know how old he is.
He's just afraid to have sex.
How old he's supposed to be.
Yes,
Because he's
like,
getting
you
out
can't-
of school, but he's got
he has
a full
a
beard.
full
He looks like
beard,
he's 40,
yeah.
and they
Bald,
keep
yeah.
calling him a little lady.
yeah.
So like, and he acts like a child, like a spoiled, teenager or something.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much disorientation going on. I fucking love it. Like,
You gotta hand
was-
it to
it
Tim
was-
Burton, man, for making
I
Pee-wee's
didn't
Big
stop
Adventure.
it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
For like just really nailing that intro, which is completely nuts.
Yeah.
But he makes everybody outside of the character normal and Pee-wee's Big
So
Adventure.
I
which
feel like
helps.
Tim Burton could have done it with this. It would have been the reverse.
The big thing is
He-
getting the boat. He would have done the Beetlejuice transition to the weird world, but
this
he
could have
needed the
done Chris
money
Elliott
to
great. What if that
Maybe.
was
maybe,
Pee-wee-
but the
but
more
Pee-wee
money it
Herman
costs,
is
the more
really
money he has to
likable
make.
as a character, though. He's a very good character.
It would have
as a-
made it. It would have made the joke
Yeah.
shittier too.
Yeah.
It would. That's the thing. Like we do. Like while it's the decisions are correct, they're just not correct in the business decision for making
Yeah.
the movie. It's like it's nastier. It's like grosser. It's weirder. He's so thoroughly unlikable.
Yeah.
The fishermen are fucking mean as hell. Not one of them is famous. Not
Yeah,
one of them
yeah.
is like, Mel Gibson or whoever
who is
the
the
fuck.
likable? The swimmer, when she comes in, she's the likable character because she's talking back to him.
I mean, even she's kind of. There's
She
nobody
sucked.
who's on side who's. I mean,
Letterman's
as-
character, maybe.
yeah, Letterman. We'll be right back.
Hey, little girl.
Probably. I mean, it could have been Letterman because he's just hey, little girl. Because he said what everybody in the theater is probably thinking, like, I hate those fancy lads.
It is, and it's so funny though to make it like he just needs to get laid.
That's all it is. I mean,
just
in
needs to
life,
get to Hawaii.
that's all it is get laid in
So
Hawaii.
that is, you want to get to Hawaii, you want to get laid. I mean, this is how Cabin Boy got his groove back,
Damn.
or his groove at all.
And
I
maybe-
honestly was getting Adam
30.
vibes from Cabin Boy as a
What
character.
do you mean?
He reminded me of Adam, like his weird
Okay.
habits.
You don't wear toe shoes.
Yeah, like his toe shoes and toe separators.
Adam is a fancy lad.
But also, I related to
And
Cabin Boy. Also,
Andy's literally in Hawaii right now.
I related to him. You know, we all have a little Cabin Boy in us. There is some,
No.
you know, that like you say the wrong thing, you don't know how to communicate, you go into a situation wrong, you are insulting the people. We all
No,
act like
I've
this,
never
right?
been. No. Me?
We look
Never,
down at the
you
working
you
class.
stupid piece of shit. I've never acted like that, you fucking idiot. You useless piece of shit.
We think we're better than everyone. We are mean to our drivers, our
What dead drifter did you get? What drifter's corpse did you get those shoes off of?
real work makes us sick and uncomfortable. We hate actually working for a living, cutting fish heads.
Oh, licking the fucking poop deck.
The floor. It tastes of marzipan.
What is marzipan?
It's a fruit.
Bitter? What's it taste like? Is it juicy? I don't know what marzipan.
You're like
tastes
you're the blue collar audience rejecting this movie. Like, what the fuck is marzipan?
What is marzipan? No, I know what marzipan. What's it taste like though? Soapy?
Is that fruit? Is it like a fucking dish?
I didn't get which way that joke was going. No, is it like it's like jelly, right?
It's a jelly. Is it candy? It's
But
a
I've
fruit.
never had it. Have you ever had marzipan? We're talking about the scene.
It's like
where
a cake like
licks-
substance. I'm so wrong. It's not even like anything like a fruit.
Yeah, I thought it was like
A tart.
I thought it was
It looks like dough. It looks like raw cookie.
when
like,
he so he
nougat, maybe.
when they make him lick the
I'm gonna get some
deck
marzipan this
with
week.
the soap. He goes, "Oh, tastes like marzipan." I was like, "I don't get this joke. I don't know what marzipan tastes like."
And I was
But
like, I get this
marzi-
joke, and I was wrong.
Does it taste like soap?
No,
Well, maybe the joke is maybe we're still.
I was
getting
thinking
the joke.
of
Maybe it's not even
marmalade.
a joke.
like marmalade.
That is, yep, that's the jelly, right?
I got marmalade and marzipan mixed up.
Oh, I was thinking of Marilyn Monroe,
It isn't marzipan
and I've never
like
tasted that.
You never tasted some.
Yeah, I'm the one guy in America that hasn't.
Marmalade.
Okay, get over it.
It's good stuff, is what I'm saying.
I need to get some
but
marzipan.
marzipan, is that like rich people? It's like rich people dessert.
It reminds me of
Probably.
fish egg. Like,
I've never had
what's
it. I'm a
the
fucking
caviar?
normal guy.
Oh yeah, caviar.
Caviar and marzipan.
That would be fun. Put that up your girlfriend's pussy and eat it.
Eat
Just
it
take a
out, yeah.
Oh,
nice
come on
cat-
now.
Fill her up with
Come on
caviar.
now.
That's how
a
rich
little
people-
Snickers, put a Snickers bar in there too.
Mm. Bill Clinton, she's fucking eating. This is great caviar. Monica.
What if it was actually a Snickers stain?
Hey, I
on
got
the
a
dress?
Butterfinger and a Snickers. We're gonna go crazy tonight. I got Twix. There's two
Smithsonian.
of them.
It does seem like some of the sets would have made for good porn movies. I would say that.
I got a Reese's Pieces in my butthole.
Reese's Pieces.
He's trying to get that ET to freaking eat his ass out. Little Reese's Pieces, a trail of Reese's Pieces go into his butt. So
And actually, one
ET
of the
sticks his glowing finger in his butthole.
one of the funniest Get a Life episodes was about
Vroom,
was
vroom.
a
Spewy.
parody
That's
of ET called Spewy.
Alien. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
this?
It was
Like
it was
a
a
porno?
Get a Life episode where they find an ET, but
Alien. It looks horrible too.
it's this
Looks so
disgusting
weird.
little alien creature, and like there's like a great part where Chris Elliott, he finds it and he like loves this creature, and he's like, I'm gonna introduce Spewy to this little girl. Here's the magic moment where the innocence of youth meets the naivete of an alien life form, forming a bond that goes forever. And so he opens up the door and goes like, little girl, meet Spewy. And she just immediately goes, I want it dead, I want it dead, and just starts attacking it.
Also, Spewy
Where
secretes
can I
a
watch
substance.
that? Where can I watch Get Out?
Get
What
a
is
Life?
it called?
Get a life.
Get Out and Get Alive.
It's on DVD.
Man, I watched it. I watched
There's no
every
streaming?
episode when it was back on Fox back in that day. Like it was Sunday. It was Sunday afternoon, Sunday night show on Fox
After The Simpsons, maybe.
after The Simpsons. Yeah.
That's probably why I watched it.
I will say that kind of reminded me of Schitt's Creek. It's definitely probably
He's
not
on
on par
Schitt's
with
Creek.
that. He's the
Oh
mayor
yeah.
of the
That's
he's the
that's
mayor of the
right.
town Schitt's Creek, and he is one of the funniest fucking characters in that show.
He's so
obviously.
funny.
But
He
the
never
way
got his
just
due.
he's just a gross. He's so
For Cabin
hateable.
Boy.
He's so
This
good
is it.
at playing.
All we have is
hateable.
Cabin Boy.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Chris Elliott's great. You got what do we say? The
Is Groundhog Day
FDR?
before this? He's in Groundhog Day with Bill Murray too.
What is
Oh,
what
yeah,
is
he's a
it? What was
He's the
this?
cameraman.
What was this? 93?
Yeah, that's like 93. So he's in
No, when was
Groundhog Day.
Cabin Boy?
94. Oh, could be around this. He probably did Cabin Boy after.
Yeah,
There's
to
this-
try and get Bill Murray on there.
There is such
Yeah,
a
the
weird
connection.
thing where people can do all this good stuff, but unless your first movie blows the fuck up, then you're done.
Well, I think with Chris Elliott, he's just so weird. I think he's a way better supporting character. He's not a lead. I don't think he's like an Adam Sandler
Yeah,
lead.
most comedians
or
can't
a-
act worth shit either.
That's
That's the
not
other-
true. But Adam Sandler can act.
Norm Macdonald in Dirty
Norm-
Work, like that's barely acting.
No,
It's just
that's
him
not
being
acting. It's him being him.
or like I'm saying
Will
most
Ferrell
comedians
can
are
act, like
Pootie
comedians
Tang,
can
you
act.
know. Louis
Pootie
C.K.
Tang, yeah.
couldn't even make Pootie Tang work, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny jokes in it, but it's like
yeah.
a hideous movie.
Well, what about Jim Carrey? Fucking Truman
He's a
Show.
brilliant actor, though. That's the thing. He
Number
can act.
23. Yeah, but
Robin
he's
Williams
Is
can
number
act.
So that's a
23
comedian.
good? I've
Robin
never seen it.
Williams. What the? Yeah. So what the fuck are you talking about? Comedians can act better than actors most of the time.
Most, but I listed all these other people who like failed and never had another movie.
Yeah. Well, Chris Elliott's too weird.
Jim Carrey and Robin Williams they act more than they do.
Yeah,
They
but
don't
they
do
do
stand up.
likable. But they do likable.
Robin Williams, I
Oh,
mean,
oh,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
The last time
But
I saw him do
they
stand up,
also
he
play
bombed.
kind of likable characters. What's Will or what's Jim Carrey's worst
He
movie?
killed himself. No, what?
Jim, Me, Myself, and Irene.
Hilarious movie.
It's really funny.
But it's also
why,
kind of
why don't people talk about it? It's because he plays an asshole in that. But dude, the scene where he slides off the hood of the car, you got to look it up right now, please, and send me that link. In Me,
when he
Myself, and
pees.
when he
he's in-
slides, he's laying on. Just look up Jim Carrey, Me, Myself, and Irene sliding off car. He just slides off and smokes a cig. It's the coolest fucking. It's the funniest fucking rubber man shit. Now I'm going on a J.K. tangent.
Because like there's something about Mary. There is a love story that is enough for people to
Where are all these nasty
have
things?
something of an emotional payoff, and they can
Yeah.
feel like they watched a movie, even though there's like the scene and There's Something About Mary where his dick gets caught in the zipper. That's like a sketch,
Yeah.
and it's the
We
the
got a
black guy,
bleeder.
the black guy from Requiem for a Dream. How you doing there? Like he's Mary's stepdad. Like that scene is
Yeah.
really long,
Keith David or David Keith.
but
The only
like
thing I remember is we got a bleeder, and then you see his balls like through that that practical effect.
bubble.
balls.
it's just like a weird bubble.
It just zipped up. That's just what balls
But
would
there's,
look like in a zipper.
The love story in Cabin Boy with him and Trina is just like so ridiculous. Yeah, he rides her. He just rides her. Like they don't
he
even.
stands on her. He rides her like a damn. Not
He
even a
burns her
longboard.
diary.
He's
What
He's,
else
like,
has
physically
Resnick-
hideous.
What else has Adam Resnick done? I know he wrote a book that I was always meaning to get and just haven't called.
He wrote
I
Death
will
to
not.
Smoochie,
Okay.
oh, and then he didn't write the movie.
which I walked out of because I hated it so much.
I liked it with Edward Norton.
I think it just looked really grimy and gross when I saw it, and I was kind of like wasn't feeling it. So me and my
Sounds
friends
like you were
left it,
kind
and
of
we
done
saw
being a
Panic Room
bitch.
instead. But maybe
That
I'll
one
watch
was-
it now.
Panic Room is scary.
I remember the ad campaign for Death to Smoochie. For some reason, they were really touting it as that Danny DeVito directed it.
Yes.
And so And all the
Is that
ads,
why?
they would always go, from the twisted mind of Danny DeVito. And I just
Oh
remember going
yeah,
like, was his mind that I don't know. I never
He's just a little guy.
he's a
a little
weird
guy
director.
from the
He's a
Also,
very
twisted
weird
mind.
I didn't know
filmmaker.
I didn't know he directed that. Is that why it was shot from waist up?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why the camera's so
oh,
low and it's just
Yeah.
looking up. It's a lot of
oh,
under
I
the
thought that was just a
skirt shot.
move.
So
He's
it's,
just walking under people's legs like that.
you just see a pair of balls.
Directed and camera
Yeah.
operated by Danny DeVito.
You know, like
Danny
over the
operated
shoulder.
all the
Twisted balls of Danny DeVito.
from the testicular contortion. What is it? Testicular torsion of Danny DeVito. We got twisted balls.
But like maybe Chris Elliott should have been in that movie. They said they weren't allowed to work together anymore. Like no one would do a Chris Elliott, Adam Resnick project, but only
Oh
them by
no,
themselves.
yeah.
They said
What?
they sold the show to Fox and they were like, they said yes in the room. And by the time they got downstairs and were in the parking lot, another executive who wasn't there heard the pitch and said, we won't work with the Cabin Boy guys. So they got called and they were like, yeah, we can't do it. So they were
Oh
like,
my God.
you're in the meeting, like, yeah, we're gonna buy this. Let's do this. See you on Tuesday, Mike. We're gonna make a
God
fucking
damn.
TV show.
Wow.
Ryan, you're the star.
What was the show? Do you know?
No, they never said. And then like
Wow.
you're getting into your car, and they're like, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
it's
I'm walking
such
to my
a-
car
it's-
right now. Tuck, 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 tuck.
It's
Whoop,
such a
whoop.
shame that like
That's me
a
unlocking it.
single failure after so many successes can tank somebody's like deal so bad. Like, I mean, I could see them maybe Chris Elliott never getting a leading man in a movie, but the fact that like they couldn't get shows on Fox, like that's crazy. Like I mean,
Because there's no logic to Hollywood success. There's the only
yeah,
thing they can do is it makes money.
Yeah. it's
Yeah.
stupid.
We don't like superhero movies. It makes money. They just do.
Well, there's no logic because it's like I said earlier, a bunch of businessmen, prestigious business people
with heels
Yeah.
on.
mindset, just clicking and clacking on their abacus all day, and just all they're thinking about is which
They're
knob is
literally
going which
counting
way on their
beans.
abacus. They're just they're flicking beans up, counting beans, and they don't give a shit about art or creativity unless it makes them money. I don't know. I'm bitter.
So
It's a
what's our
crapshoot.
rating? What's our rating for Cabin Boy
Oof.
as comedy fans? The
Uh,
real
out of what's
so
the,
as
what's
a
the-
Chris
out of
Elliott
5
fan.
stars.
out of 5 stars?
Yeah, letterboxed rating.
I would give it 4 stars. I'm a huge fan.
I'm a
I had it at
Chris
3.5.
Elliott
I went up to 4. I wish I could give it higher. It's obviously has its
Yeah,
problems.
it has flaws for sure.
The ending
There's-
is very unsatisfying. That's
yeah,
one of the biggest problems. One thing I noticed watching it this time is like the middle of the movie, which is usually the worst part. For this movie, it's the funniest part because it's like
Yeah.
now he's on the boat. Like if he had done something like Army of Darkness, where it's like the first scene is him on the boat getting abused, and he's like, "How did I get here? Well, let me tell you my story."
Yeah.
And like,
yeah,
like they need to get on the fucking
They
boat
just didn't
right
know how to
away.
write- They didn't know how to write a.
The boat
movie.
shit is funny. He's there. The
Yeah.
fishermen are funny. The chocolate. He's drinking the gallon of chocolate milk. I mean, that is one of
Shit,
my
I'm
favorite
sorry, I
jokes
gotta
in
go
any
pee, though.
movie
yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Crisco.
I think that I would probably put it at like a 3.5 or a 4. There are definitely some flaws with it, but it's such an anomaly of a it's like a different type of comedy. I think we're so used to joke, punch, 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 and there's a lot of like just funny things that aren't maybe necessarily like punchline laugh funny. It's just absurd weirdness it's so
Andy Richter
enjoyable.
dancing like a harem.
Yeah, this is how harem girl dances.
And like, he walks down the steps and goes step, step, step. He's like stepping. He's like saying every step, he's so dumb.
I mean, I think
It's
there's a
just a
lot of
funny-
comedies that may have more laughs, like out loud laughs in them that are a lot more generic than this. You know, like there's definitely not any other movies like this. The tone is so weird. Like I mean, it pops up in like, you know, A Get a Life or some like other Chris Elliott stuff, but you're not gonna like see it in any other like
And
feature films,
even though
even
they're
low
not
budget feature studio films.
even though they're not like Tim Burton level with all the visuals are interesting to look at. Like it makes
Yeah.
it is like so unique that it has all these weird pastiche references and weird jokes and but they shoot the comedy pretty well, like in a very simple manner. Like Mystery Men, that movie has like way more money, way more famous
Hmm.
people, way more everybody's a comedian in Mystery
Yeah.
Men. Everybody is like Artie Lang, Keenan, or Kel. It's like
Yeah.
they fill up. I mean, they have William H. Macy, but the shots are too complicated. It has no humor. I mean, it's so boring. It's such a bad movie. And
Yeah.
so many funny people are in it. Cabin Boy at least delivers. They only cared about making things funny. And that's why like the limo looks weird. That's why the backdrop looks stupid. It doesn't matter. It's just they only cared about like, well, if it's funny, it's funny. Like, who cares?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's a funny movie.
It did feel like the visuals you were saying like were I'm gonna go 4.5. I'm gonna go
Oh,
above you.
nice.
I'm gonna go
Wow.
4.5.
Wow.
Uh because I was like I don't know, it's something about Chris Elliott. Watch the FDR thing because it's got the same kind of pacing and vibe, but then the jokes just keep kind of like building on themselves. And it's it's very much up my sense of humor wise, up my alley.
I think
And
this would be a
also,
good movie.
Nonsensical, kind of absurd.
This would be a good movie to play in black and white up at the bar where you work, Ryan.
Yeah, it would.
VHS copy of this.
If anybody's got a VHS, send it.
the other thing about this movie
Did
that,
it make it to VHS?
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, that works in its favor is like every joke is a character joke. Every
Yeah.
joke is, there is
It's
nothing of
based on
like,
the yeah.
so those tend to be the funniest in movies. You just get each character has a very simple game and then they just do it
This
over
is
and
who
over
you
again.
are, and yeah, this is who you are. You're the like that's an ensemble, an ensemble,
So
Ensemble.
ensemble. No, I'm
Mm,
ONSEMBLLEE.
enchilada.
you know,
Enchiladas, yeah.
Hmm.
I think we talked about, I think we said it all, you know, it's
We've
Cabin
said
Boy.
it all.
It's Cabin Boy, baby.
It's a comedies are hard for us to talk about because it's like the
This was
plot
a
doesn't
comedy. I
matter.
thought it was a sexual drama.
It's a,
You know,
a
are we
sexual,
just gonna,
a psychosexual thriller.
do we just talk about the jokes of the movie? Yeah, the jokes are funny. It's Cabin Boy. The
I mean, the
plot
point.
is
I think that
ridiculous.
the true point is, why can't there be blue, 6-arm blue bitches out here that I can marry? Because that's my type.
You need to go to different. You're going to the wrong clubs. You
What?
need to go
You need a
Elysium.
MILF. That's what you need is like
Elysium.
you need a
Yeah.
married woman, country club woman, husband's working all the time, Texas lady.
I sneak on and off the ranch, which there's a thrill because I could get shot
Yeah.
real easy.
You're running out the
Listen,
house.
you know what they say? A blue bitch can give you blue balls.
Oh,
Oh,
this movie gave me blue balls because of
Really?
this blue bitch.
Oh, really? You didn't
Absolutely.
JO while you're watching it?
I said hands up, and I put my hands up because I'm doing a no nut.
You're doing
I'm
no nut,
still
yeah.
I'm still doing no nut November.
Yeah.
I go fuck it. Why am I gonna stop now? What are we? February?
Yeah, I've been doing no nut November since October, actually. So my pipes
I
are
actually
not clean.
I actually nutted during the show.
Oh yeah,
I could
I've
tell.
been
I could
I've
tell.
been
could tell.
masturbating and
We
pleasuring
know.
myself.
Yep.
Your eye twitched. There's a
I'm
certain
watching
twitch.
porn on my other monitor.
I could see in the
Yeah.
reflection the real gay homo porn you were watching.
Well, which is cool. That's
What's
the
it
cool
called? What
porn.
was the name of it?
Yeah, what was the
Um, E.T. sticks his finger up Bill Clinton's butthole.
It's starring Scotty Schwartz from Christmas Story.
As E.T. Yeah,
Yeah,
Scotty Schwartz made a few porn. He's also in
yeah,
the Toy classic.
yeah. Oh, Wonder Wheel. Oh, Wonder Wheel.
Richard Pryor. Another notorious bomb. I think
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I just watched shitty movies and liked them, and then now I have no taste.
Grew up to be
so.
like a shitty yeah,
Well,
got it.
there's a little bit of when you're for me, like getting to see a movie was a big deal, and like so
Come on, Mama, we're gonna go see a movie.
I loved anything. Like I just was excited to get to go see a movie. So I liked everything I saw until a certain age.
I
you
honestly
become jaded. You're like,
I really didn't like going to
Jumanji
the
2 is not actually as good as Jumanji 1.
one. Is Dwayne the Rock Johnson Jumanji? Is that out yet?
Rock the Dwayne Johnson.
I honestly hated going to the movie theater because it was like I don't know why, but all of them it was called Edgewood in Lincoln, Nebraska, and they had the black lights and the squiggly neon kind of laser quest vibes. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Laser
It says
tag.
movies,
lobby.
really big
In
concessions.
the hallways, like you'd walk
Okay,
through,
yeah.
you'd walk through, and it would be black lights with like all the neon spark, very 80s vibes, very
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell kind
Yeah.
of triangles. and
Trapper
whatever.
Keeper covers.
Yes, and I hated it because there was just shit all over my clothes, and we'd go there with some of the kids my mom babysat,
Like,
ran
wow,
a
you got
daycare,
shit
and
on your clothes,
and it was
little
just a
kid.
big thing. We would just roast each other. We'd roast each other if you had like.
Oh, look
gunk
at your
on
cum
clothes.
stains. You got cum
Oh, just covered in. Jake Flores
in
has
your
a joke
mouth
where
and your body
where
and your face. You're just
I
like
think
walking.
Jake Flores says he walks in with his khakis and he's like, I didn't know I was wearing my khakis. Because they're just covered in. He's just covered in cum. So I really didn't enjoy going to the movie theater as a kid. And then matinees growing up, once they got rid of the black lights, once the 90s was done and fucking the world kind of grew up a little bit.
What year was that?
I mean, this is probably early aughts.
No, I mean, what year was the 90s done?
Probably December 31st, 1999, midnight.
Yeah.
Would be
Y2K. Y2K. That was a big deal.
Well, I don't know why I would 2K, but the question is
the 90s stopped with 9/11.
What 2K? It's not.
I'm still worried that Y2K is still going to happen. Like just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that it won't.
Think
about it. You know?
What about Y2 gay?
That's
Y2
I'm just pitching things. I don't know.
How to gay.
How to gay.
How to be gay.
Hi, I'm William Mondozas, and this is How to Gay. Howdy, how to gay.
No, Ryan. No.